Hello, and welcome to episode number 19, 7 knee range of motion exercises. In today's video, we'll talk about what a normal range of motion is, why it's so important for your knee function, especially after having any knee surgery or total knee replacement surgery, and then I'll show you the 7 different ways that you can work on your range of motion. Stay tuned. I'm Robin Robertson, founder of Healthy Knees Coach and international best-selling author. I figure I was born with a crappy pair of knees so that I could help you avoid the mistakes that I made and benefit from the many successes I achieved in my long and sordid knee history. Fast forward past multiple knee surgeries, ultimately with both knees replaced, plenty of life experience and study into the latest research for knees, and I'm stronger and healthier than I've ever been. I want to help you get there too. I share these lessons with you that will change your knees and probably change your life to give you the strength, stamina, and stability to get back to doing the things that you love. If you suffer from knee pain or want to avoid it altogether, you are in the right place, friend. Let's get started. There are 2 major mistakes that I see people make when it comes to knee range of motion. First is they don't work on it enough or work on it for a short amount of time and then figure, that's all I got. So there are improvements that you can make by continually working on your knee range of motion. And the second one is that they think that they shouldn't be bending their knee because their knee hurts. So sometimes getting your knee used to a motion is part of that healing process. You definitely don't want to do this if it causes you knee pain, but if you feel pressure, especially if your knee is swollen after a knee surgery, then that pressure is going to be something that you want to work into. Of course, always check with your doctor before doing any of these kind of exercises if it is brand new to you, or if you have particular knee issues, or if you've just had knee surgery. Follow what your doctor and your PT say to do. These are supplemental to all of that. Range of motion is one of the things that we talk about in our exercise vault inside of the Healthy Knees formula. So these resources are there for you too inside of that program. The great thing about working on your knee range of motion is that if you make gains, it makes you feel so proud of yourself, number one, and your foot doesn't get stuck on things. So if you're stepping over a log, you can bend your knee enough in order to get there, or stepping over a curb, or getting in and out of a car. So much of this has to do with how much your knee bends, and I want you to be able to bend it more. Okay, so before we get to that, let's talk about what a normal knee range of motion is. And here I have my handy dandy goniometer, which is a device that measures angle. And somebody recently said goniometer, go-knee-ometer. Haha. Okay, so if we're looking at a leg that is straight, it will be here, 0 degree of flexion. And here's 90 degrees, of course. And then kind of the max bend for most people is 135 degrees. And that looks like about here. So here is the angle. It's a little hard to see here, but you get the idea. And after a knee replacement surgery, most doctors will say, let's see, here's 90, here's 110, here's 120, that 120 degrees to 125 degrees will enable you to do most things in normal daily activities. But if you can get into this 120 to 125 range, that's pretty awesome. 135's up there. I haven't seen 135 degrees since I was about 10 years old. So have no worries. There are many things that you can still do, even with a lesser range of motion. For riding a bike, you need about 110 degrees. So that's going to look like this. Here's the bend, 110 degrees. And the nice thing about riding a bike, and I've said it before, I'll say it again because it's so important, that repeated bend in your knee as you're pedaling helps to create that consistent range of motion for your knee. I was able to maintain 110 degrees even with severe arthritis because I was an avid cyclist. And so that helped me to continue that range of motion. Now, when my knee started to grow more bone spurs, and my doctor said, finally, we can't shave them off anymore. You need to just have your knee replaced. That was a big decision point for me because I was down to riding a bike and doing strength training exercises. It was about all I could do athletically, and so loss of that range of motion is what finally prompted me to have my total knee replacement. But I want you to maintain yours as long as you can. Before we start on our 7 different exercises, I want to remind you about the difference between dynamic stretching and static stretching. If you have not yet exercised, then you should always do these exercises I'll show you as a dynamic stretch, and you can. If you are done exercising and you want to hold the position for longer, then you can do them as a static stretch, where you hold the position for 30 seconds. Dynamic stretching, remember, is where you move in and out of the motion. All right, and I'll show you what it looks like to do each of the exercises each way as a dynamic and as a static exercise. All right, we're gonna start with moving down to the floor. Okay, lying on the floor or lying on your bed, you could even do this. I've taken off my shoes here so that my feet slide a little more. I'm starting with both my knees slightly bent, and all we're going to do here is slide your heel straight as you can get your leg, and then bring it up. And this is one of the first exercises that I did after total knee replacement. And you're just working that range of motion, trying to bring your heel as close to your butt as you can. So here I'm showing you the dynamic movement. And for static, you'll just bring it into as close as you can do, as close as you can hold, and hold it for a count of about 30 seconds. Maybe even up to 2 minutes for a static stretch. All right, there's stretch number 1. For stretch number 2, I have turned myself around and I have my feet up on the wall with your bottom as close to the wall as you want to take it. Sometimes it's a little challenging to get into this position. I find if you can swing your legs up, that's going to work. And the nice thing about this exercise is that you've got gravity as your assist. I like it even a little more than lying down with the foot slide. So here with your feet up on the wall, gravity's helping you a little bit, and you're just gonna bring that heel as close to your butt as you can. And so this is the dynamic version. And again, once you get to the static, you can slide as close to your butt as you can and hold that knee there and that foot there for about 30 seconds. Now I've put my shoes on for this exercise, and what you want to do is scoot as close to the wall as you can with your heels lifted. So I'm going to sort of inchworm my bottom closer to my heels, and then I'm going to press my heels down. And that just increases that bend in your knee a little more than you can do without this added assist from the wall. So again, you'll want to set those heels down and come on up. And this feels differently in each of my knees. They've both been replaced. One of them is a little more willing to bend than the other. And then again, as a static stretch, you can just press and hold for that count of 30 on up to 2 minutes. For this next stretch, I'm using a stretch strap. It has a loop on one end that I'll put over my toes, and then I'm going to use it as a pulley to pull my heel closer to my head while I'm laying down on the floor. So I'll go ahead and loop it over my foot first, kind of sling this over my shoulder. And I've got my other foot just resting on the wall here. So now I'm going to reel in my foot like it is a big bucket of rocks and hold it there. It's a really nice quadricep stretch here as well. And release. So the dynamic is to pull and release. You don't want to do the dynamic stretches fast. There's no bouncing involved. It's all controlled. And then for a static stretch, you can pull and hold, holding for that count of 30 seconds to 2 minutes. For this next stretch, this is one that you can do standing and use a chair, a bench, a box. I'll just use this box that's right here. And all we're going to do is push into that knee bend and come out. Push in and come out. This is just gentle knee rocking. You could also do this as a quadruped position on all fours on the floor. But I like doing it single leg using a chair or a bench or a box to move in and out. And again, to hold for that static stretch, it's going to look like this. And I feel pressure in my knee, but I don't feel pain. I don't want you to feel pain either. Now, I'm using a towel to assist me in this next one. This is sort of a basic quadricep stretch exercise, but I like using it as a knee bending exercise as well, so it's doing both things, which is fantastic. I cannot grab my ankle and hold my leg in the proper position because you want your knees side by side. So I'm going to use a little towel extender. I'll wrap that around my ankle, and with the same hand that I'm going to be lifting the leg on, I'll hold that towel and bring it up right beside me. So now my knees are side by side in proper position. What I don't want to see is you grab your ankle and your knees wedged way out to the side here, because that's not good for your back. That's going to hurt. So here, I'm able to have more control and I can lift up and release some of that tension. Exhale as you lift. Inhale as you release. And if you want some balance points, you can reach up to the sky with your other hand. Static stretch at the end, holding steady. Okay, this last stretch is probably one of my favorites. And here's my philosophy on this. If you can increase just 1% of range of motion per month, then that means 12% in a year. Now you may or you may not be able to get that far, but I like this last stretch that I'm going to show you because my legs feel so soothed after I've done it. So you can use a high chair or a box or a bench, and what you'll do is place that foot right on top of the bench, and I've got my hands on the wall here. I'm going to press away from the wall, which is increasing the bend in my knee. I can feel a big stretch all through my quads, and that feels really good, because it's hard to stretch your quads on a knee that doesn't like to bend very much. All right, I'm gonna take a big inhale, and here, again, dynamic. If you haven't been moving, you can go in and out of the stretch. And then when you're ready, you can press into that stretch. Take a big inhale, exhale, and push a little farther away with your hands. Inhale, exhale, push a little farther away. I can feel the intensity of the quad stretch increasing. I like that, it feels good. And I'll take another breath in and exhale, push away. And this is one that for a couple of years I would hold every morning while my toast was toasting for 2 minutes on each leg. And I think it really did help on my range of motion. Okay, that's it for the 7 steps, or the 7 stretches. I hope you'll download the free guide. It has pictures, it has a brief description of what to do on each of those range of motion stretches. And if you liked this video, if you find it helpful, please subscribe to the channel. My name is Robin Robertson. I love helping you with your knees. I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Bye for now.